Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and today I want to show you how to do a little repair work on your loom piece if you end up losing or dropping a bead. So I've heard it referred to as dropping a bead, but also just a bead falling out or losing it. So I have a hole in my beadwork, which basically means that when I was doing my weaving, I accidentally did not go across the warp threads correctly. And so when all was said and done, my bead popped out because it wasn't anchored in there. So the whole basic premise when you're doing your loom work is you've got your warp threads here and your weft threads are going this way. And you're basically going under and then back over and through the beads. And that's what's holding your beads in place. So when you don't do that properly, you accidentally just don't go over a bead or something happens, you'll end up dropping a bead. A couple different ways it can happen, and there's a couple different ways to repair it. I'm going to show you one way of repairing it right now. So I have rethreaded on some string, and I just probably have maybe 30 inches here. And I'm going to go back through the row where I have the missing bead, and that bead could have shown up anywhere. And I'm just going through all my beads. And I'm going to leave a tail of about 10-12 inches because I'm going to have to tie some knots here at the end. So now, if you see, I've got a warp thread right here, and I have another warp thread right here. I'm going to go on the right side of the warp thread right before my missing bead and go down so I'm underneath, like so. Now I'm going to pick up the missing bead and I'm going to pop it in place. There it goes. And now I'm going to go back on top of it. And if you can see that little flash of metal, I'm also going on top of the warp thread that I just went under initially. And now I'm going to go back through my beads. And you see now that gap is filled. And I'm just going to go through. Till I exit again. So now I have two strings, or I should say two tails, exiting the same point. So now I'm going to go to the next row over. And now I'm going to tie a discreet little knot. And go a couple more beads. And so I don't really need to do this part on camera, but I'm just going to do another little knot, go a couple more beads, do a little knot, trim that thread, and then go ahead and rethread my needle onto this end and then go up to the row on top, do the exact same process and trim my threads. And now my bead is anchored. I no longer have a hole and I have successfully repaired my loom piece. So that is one way of repairing your loom work if you have a dropped or fallen out bead.